Part 1. First Bloom. Crack! The sound of Sergeant Jake Bulldog, Morrison's knuckles hitting his commanding officer's jaw, echoed through the Chicago bunker. Around them, alarms screamed as alien energy beams turned the city above into molten slag. "Sir, with all due respect," Morrison said, shaking blood off his fist, "screw your evacuation order." Colonel Peters wiped blood from his lip, grinning despite himself. "Care to explain why you just committed mutiny, Sergeant?" "Because those crystal-faced bugs just vaporized St. Mary's Hospital. 300 kids are trapped in the basement, and they can't walk. I'm not leaving them behind because some sparkly aliens think we're easy prey." Peters looked at Morrison for a long moment, then smiled. "Well then, Sergeant, looks like we're going to show these bastards what a Death World species looks like when it's pissed off." The Gardeners Gambit character setup. Personal stakes. Flashback. 72 hours earlier. 72. Dr. Elena Vasquez finished her third energy drink of the night, staring at readings that made no sense. Her tiny observatory outside Geneva was detecting something impossible. "Come on, Elena," she muttered, a habit she'd picked up after David left her. "Either the universe is broken, or your equipment is having a very expensive breakdown." She'd lost her job at CERN for chasing impossible theories. Lost her husband because she cared more about gravitational waves than dinner dates. Now she was talking to herself in a shed, watching data that suggested the Earth was singing. Her phone buzzed. Text from her ex. "Elena, saw the news about your grant denial. Couch is still available if you need it. David." She deleted it without reading twice. She'd been doing that a lot lately. The numbers showed gravitational patterns too complex for nature, too organized for chaos. Like the entire planet was one massive communication network that had been dormant for millions of years. Meanwhile, USS Leviathan. Captain Sarah Doc Chen stood on her bridge, watching her sonar operator's confused face. "Ma'am," Petty Officer Rodriguez called out, "I'm reading mass displacement signatures that are physically impossible." "Define impossible, Rodriguez." "Something the size of Manhattan just appeared 2,000 miles straight up, moving at 30,000 knots. According to physics, it can't exist." Chen had earned her nickname Doc, not from medical training, but from her physics doctorate before joining the Navy. When impossible things appeared on her sonar, she paid attention. "How many impossible things are we talking about?" 47 and counting, ma'am." "They're everywhere." Chicago Underground. Morrison was having the worst day of his military career, and that was saying something. His squad had been doing routine urban training when the sky started falling. Now they were trapped in Millennium Station with a bunch of civilians, listening to the world end above their heads. "Sarge," Corporal Williams whispered, "my daughter Emma is at Lincoln Elementary. That's only 6 blocks from here. But..." Morrison looked at Williams. Kid was barely 19, joined the Marines to pay for college, still called his mom every Sunday. Good soldier, deserved better than dying in a hole while his little girl got vaporized. "Don't worry, Williams. We'll get her." "How, Sarge?" "Those things are leveling entire city blocks." Morrison cracked his knuckles. "Simple. We're Marines. They're bugs. Time to remind the universe why humans are the scary ones." The aliens announced themselves. Aboard the Zeltar flagship, Admiral Kethvar stood before her tactical display, 6 arms crossed in supreme confidence. Her species had perfected conquest over 1,000 years. Why change what worked? "Sub-Commander Yilthek, species analysis." "Standard primitive bipeds, Admiral. They call themselves humans. Carbon-based, short-lived, recently discovered atomic weapons. Pre-faster-than-light civilization. Threat assessment? Minimal. Their most advanced spacecraft can barely reach their own moon. No energy shields, no FTL travel, no unified government. They're currently fighting wars over fossil fuel access." Kethvar's mandibles clicked with amusement. "Delightful. Standard harvesting protocols? Already programmed, Admiral. Announce arrival, demand surrender, begin harvesting when they refuse." Neither alien realized their primitive targets were listening through quantum networks older than their civilization. Earth, NORAD. General Patricia Hayes stared at the translation flowing across her screens. Her coffee had gone cold an hour ago. "They're talking about us like livestock," she said. "Yes, ma'am. Similar broadcasts detected worldwide. They seem to think we're completely helpless." Hayes had earned her stars the hard way. 3 wars, 4 Purple Hearts, and a Distinguished Service Cross. She'd never backed down from a fight in her life. "Ma'am, there's something else. Dr. Vasquez at Geneva is reporting massive energy signatures. It's like the whole planet is waking up." Before Hayes could respond, every screen on Earth flickered. The announcement. Kethvar's imposing form appeared on every device capable of displaying an image. Her crystalline carapace gleamed under harsh lighting, compound eyes reflecting cold efficiency. "Inhabitants of the 3rd planet," her voice boomed through universal translators. "I am Admiral Kethvar of the Zheltar hegemony. Your world has been selected for biological harvesting. Around the world, humans stop to listen to their death sentence. You have 72 of your local hours to surrender. Comply, and your deaths will be swift. We will harvest your neural pathways for our computers and your biomass for our energy reserves." The transmission paused for effect. "Resist, and we will extend the process. Your suffering will fuel our war machines for decades. We have conquered 47 star systems using these methods. None have successfully resisted." Another pause. "Your species shows no exceptional characteristics that would suggest a different outcome." Human responses. In Moscow, President Petrov threw his vodka glass at the screen. "Exceptional characteristics? We'll show you exceptional, you crystal-faced bastards!" In Washington, the president quietly asked for the nuclear codes. In Beijing, the premier looked at his generals and said, "Well, gentlemen, looks like we found something that unifies humanity." But the most important response came from Geneva, where Dr. Vasquez was watching impossible readings spike off every chart. "Oh, you magnificent idiots," she whispered. "You have no idea what you just woke up." 8 to 13. Humans are space orcs. First taste. Chicago Underground. Morrison's squad had been moving through subway tunnels for 3 hours, gathering survivors. What they found was challenging everything the aliens thought they knew. "Sarge," Private Jackson reported, "we've got 63 civilians, including 15 kids. Mrs. Patterson from Lincoln Elementary got Williams's daughter and her whole class to safety." "How?" Morrison asked. "Ma'am grabbed a fire axe and escorted 30 screaming 6-year-olds through 6 blocks of active bombardment. When alien drones tried to stop her, she split one in half and told them, quote, 'You'll go through me first, sparkly bastards.'" Williams was crying. Morrison pretended not to notice. "The drone? Cut clean through. Turns out their surveillance tech can't handle a pissed-off teacher with medieval weapons." Alien Medic's horror. The first captured human changed everything for Zheltar medical understanding. Marine Corporal Janet Tank Rodriguez woke up strapped to an examination table, more angry than scared. "Subject appears conscious," reported Medical Officer Tekran. "Beginning examination. What they found violated every principle of xenobiology they knew. Sir, this creature has redundant organs. For its redundant organs, the structure they call an appendix isn't vestigial. It's a backup immune system. Their bones become 30% denser under stress. Continue. Sir, I've administered enough sedative to drop a Vorthak battle beast. The subject continues struggling." Tank looked the alien medic in his compound eyes. "Hey, Bugface, you picked the wrong species to mess with." Then she snapped restraints designed for creatures twice her size and punched the medic hard enough to crack his carapace. "Sir," Tekran reported weakly, "the subject produces combat stimulants naturally when threatened. Also, their pain tolerance is beyond measurement." Captain Chen's breakthrough. Sarah Chen had been thinking like a physicist when she should have been thinking like a human. "Rodriguez, those ships are using exotic matter propulsion?" "Yes, ma'am. They're manipulating local spacetime for thrust. Then they're vulnerable to gravitational interference." Chen smiled. "Fire control, target their drive signatures with our sonar array?" "Ma'am, sonar can't hurt spacecraft." "It can, if their drives use gravitational lensing. And we hit them with precisely tuned acoustic pulses that create interference in their space-time fields. Her weapons officer stared. Ma'am, that's either brilliant or completely insane. Rodriguez, what did we learn about the difference? Whether it works, ma'am? Fire! The result was spectacular. 3 alien fighters suddenly found their propulsion turning them inside out as humans used their own technology against them. Ma'am, Rodriguez reported with joy, alien craft are crashing into each other. It's like they forgot how physics works. Death World Discoveries. Subcommander Yilthek was filing reports that read like horror stories. Admiral, preliminary analysis of the human homeworld reveals disturbing facts. Explain. These creatures evolved on a planet where 90% of all species that ever existed have gone extinct. They survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, and mass extinction events, multiple times. Continue. Their plant life produces chemical warfare compounds as standard defense. Their roses manufacture poison in their stems. The substance poison ivy causes severe tissue damage on contact. They deliberately cultivate an invasive species called mint, despite its aggressive expansion. Kethvar's mandibles clicked nervously. What about their fauna? Admiral, the creatures humans keep as pets include apex predators capable of killing their owners, but choose not to. They've formed pack bonds with efficient killing machines and call them good boys. The first counterattack. Worldwide human response. The first 48 hours revealed something aliens weren't prepared for. Humans got more dangerous when angry. In Tokyo, salary workers turned a subway car into a kinetic weapon, using office supplies and spite. In Sao Paulo, favela communities organized ambush networks, using homemade explosives and urban warfare knowledge. In Moscow, Spetsnaz were teaching aliens why humans had reputations as winter survivors. In Montana, ranchers discovered aliens were allergic to capsaicin and weaponized their pepper farms. The impossible human. Morrison was demonstrating why Earth was classified as a death world. When alien forces cornered his squad protecting civilians, he did something that broke their understanding of biology. He lifted a crushed car off 3 trapped children. Geltar strength readings indicate this should be impossible for a creature of his mass, reported the Observer. Morrison looked at the alien drone recording him. Buddy, I'm from the planet where the weather tries to kill us for fun. You're gonna have to try harder. Alien confusion multiplies. Commander Zethral was filing incident reports that challenged military doctrine. Admiral, the humans in Montana have been feeding our ground forces. Poison? No, Admiral. They're sharing. They provided substances they consume recreationally, with written instructions. And I tried something called chocolate chip cookies. Admiral, I may have made a tactical error. Explain. I've ordered diplomatic contact with the cookie makers. My forces require more for morale purposes. You've been neutralized by baked goods. Also, they taught us poker. Lieutenant Keshtal lost his entire pay and is requesting an advance. Human pack hunting. What terrified the Geltar most was watching humans coordinate without verbal communication. Admiral, Yilthek reported, observe this tactical footage. The display showed Morrison's squad moving through alien positions. No words, no signals, yet perfect coordination. They move like a single organism with multiple bodies, Yilthek continued. No verbal commands, yet flawless tactical synchronization. They're not just intelligent, they're pack hunters who've learned to use tools. 1800 to 2300. The mystery deepens. Geneva Observatory. Elena's impossible readings were getting more impossible. The gravitational anomalies weren't random. They were structured, purposeful, like a communication network that's been here for millions of years. Her phone rang. David, her ex-husband. Elena, thank God. Listen, similar readings from observatories worldwide. The entire planet is singing like one massive organism. Elena stared at her data. David, what if Earth isn't just a planet with life on it? What if Earth is life? One living system we've been living on without knowing. Chicago tunnels. The discovery. Morrison's squad found something behind a maintenance hatch that changed everything. Instead of pipes and wiring, they discovered corridors lined with materials that pulsed with their own light. Morrison touched the wall and jerked back. Images flooded his mind. Vast gardens across continents, beings of pure energy tending growing things, Earth as something far greater than a rock in space. This has been here the whole time, he realized. Under our feet, under our cities. A voice echoed in their minds. The surface children finally discover the roots that nurtured them. You are ready to know what you truly defend. Who are you? Morrison asked. We are the gardeners of this world, and countless others. You are the species we waited millions of years to awaken. The destroyers above believe they face primitive prey. They do not understand. They have attacked the galaxy's most precious nursery, and its newest guardians. Alien panic increases. Admiral Kethavar was learning to hate humans with unprecedented passion. Subcommander, ground forces report? Admiral, humans are not fighting like any species we've encountered. Elaborate. They use creative improvisation. One unit disabled our heavy walkers by feeding them ghost pepper sauce, a recreational toxin humans consume for pleasure. It dissolved our internal components. They poisoned our mechs with food. They also form emotional bonds with equipment, talking to weapons as if they were alive. Our psychological warfare is useless because they draw strength from their tools malfunctioning. On screen, a human soldier patted a damaged tank. Come on, Betty. One more shot for Daddy. The tank fired. They've weaponized their auditory communication. They call it music, and it boosts combat effectiveness while disrupting our coordination. Humans were advancing through bombardment while singing something called Born in the USA. 23 to 27. The gardener reveals himself. The truth emerges. Elena found herself connected to minds worldwide through networks she was just understanding. Captain Chen from the Pacific, Morrison from Chicago, scientists from Antarctica, all linked by systems older than human civilization. Theros manifested in the central node beneath Switzerland, his starlight form more solid than usual. Dr. Vasquez, your species has reached the threshold. You're ready for truth about Earth. We weren't randomly evolved, were we? Elena realized. You've been cultivating us. Every species in the garden network serves a function. Some nurture, others process. Still others communicate or build. And humans? Humans are guardians. Your combination of creativity, stubbornness, and protective aggression makes you ideal defenders. You adapt to any threat, survive any environment, and never give up protecting what you love. Elena felt it resonating through connected minds. They weren't random primates who got lucky. They were purpose-built guardians. The Zeltar have no idea what they awakened. They're about to learn why attacking a nursery world protected by Death World Guardians is galactic military history's worst mistake. The real war begins. Humans began demonstrating capabilities their biology shouldn't allow. Not superpowers, but full expression of being the galaxy's guardians. Morrison's squad emerged from underground leading civilians, but moving with perfect coordination and carrying weapons made from crystalline tunnel walls. Williams, take point! Jackson, covering positions. Mrs. Patterson, explain to those alien bastards why threatening elementary school children was a bad idea. The retired teacher smiled and hefted crystallized sunlight shaped into a weapon. With pleasure, Sergeant! Captain Chen's destroyed fleet was rising from ocean depths, repaired by molecular-level technology. Elena found herself coordinating humanity's response through networks that made their internet look primitive. Alien terror. Admiral! Yilthek's voice carried pure fear. The planet is fighting back! Kethavar watched defensive systems rivaling her fleet's technology emerge from what should be a primitive world. How is this possible? Admiral, the humans are adapting faster than our computers can track. Weapons effective in Hour 1 are useless by Hour 2. Cliffhanger. Personal stakes. The first day ended with humanity changed but not victorious. The Zeltar fleet retreated, but Admiral Kethavar made a decision that would escalate everything. Morrison held Emma Williams, 6 years old and absolutely fearless. Mr. Morrison, she said seriously, are the space bugs going to hurt more people? Not if I can help it, kiddo. Good! Because if they do, I'll ask the nice light man to make them go away. Morrison saw where she pointed. Theros, visible to children in ways adults were learning. She sees clearly. Your young adapt to the network easier than adults. They'll be essential for what's coming. What's coming? Admiral Kethvar just authorized planet-cracking weapons. She believes if she can't harvest your world, she'll extract its core instead. Over my dead body. Sergeant Morrison, that may literally be required. The test begins now. Your species must choose. Remain the children we nurtured, or become the guardians the galaxy needs. Morrison looked at Emma, his squad, the civilians they'd sworn to protect. Like there was ever a choice. Above them, planet cracker devices began descending, machines designed to tear worlds apart. Emma smiled and patted Morrison's hand. Don't worry, Mr. Morrison. Earth's going to help us. I asked nicely.